Barack Obama, the next President of the United States of America.
I stand before you tonight because all across America, something is stirring. What the naysayers don't understand is that this election has never been about me. It's about you.
The convention was a national showcase for Barack Obama. Tens of millions of people tuned in to watch his acceptance speech. But the Republican convention the following week also drew a huge audience, and its big draw was John McCain's new running mate, Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. By the time the conventions were over, the presidential campaign had been underway for almost 2 years. The general election campaign that followed lasted barely 8 weeks, coinciding with a disastrous collapse in the nation's economy. It was a marathon of speeches, debates, attacks, and negative ads.
He promised better. He lied.
Lies and phony outrage and swift boat politics.
He's out of ideas, out of touch, and running out of time.
With all these negative ads and personal attacks.
Fundamentals of our economy are strong, but these are very, very difficult times.
This morning we woke up to some very serious and some troubling news from Wall Street.
Tomorrow morning, I'll suspend my campaign and return to Washington.
My hope is that the debate goes forward. I intend to be there. We have to use our military wisely.
We are winning in Iraq.
I want to provide a tax cut.
Let's not raise taxes on anybody.
Nice to meet you. Hey, can I call you Joe?
Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber.
You become increasingly adorable. Is that fair to say?
I don't know. Is it?
We never give up. We never quit.
This is where change begins.
Just 1 day before the election, Obama received devastating news. His maternal grandmother, Madeleine Payne Dunham, had lost her battle with cancer at the age of 86. Before her death, she had cast an absentee ballot for Barack Obama.
Good morning, Election Day. After a hard-fought battle, it all boils down to today. 2 men, 2 parties.
Finally, November 4th had arrived, Election Day. Obama's get-out-the-vote operation kicked into high gear, and across the country, by the millions, Americans cast their ballots.
I voted.
For weeks, Obama had been leading in the polls, but recent history had taught Democrats to be wary, and suspense about the outcome remained high. Then, at 11 p.m. Eastern Time that night, as polls closed in Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and California, Barack Obama went over the top. He'd been elected the 44th President of the United States. 11 p.m. on the East Coast. We're back on the air, and we have news. There will be young children in the White House for the first time since the Kennedy generation. An African-American has broken the barrier as old as the Republic. An astonishing candidate, an astonishing campaign, a seismic shift in American politics. You are looking at the 44th President of the United States. The celebrations begin at 11 p.m. on Election night. Let's listen to Grant Park in Chicago.
This is just an unbelievable moment. Just watching it is a great victory for our nation and for democracy. I certainly think that even those persons who don't agree with Senator Obama's policies or politics or maybe across the aisle, I think we need to put all of that aside for just a moment and acknowledge all the blood of our ancestors and forefathers of all races who have fought for justice and freedom, to see it materialize in the embodiment of this logo, as it were, that symbolizes something so much bigger than Senator Obama.
Barack Obama did it. It looks like with 284, as of this hour, 284 electoral votes. He did it with the coalition you've been watching on the screen. Young voters, minorities, they're hearing our voices on the big screen along with them. If he is the new face of America, they are too, and he represents them. Tom Brokaw, you want to take a crack at words?
I'm not sure anyone can. This is a very emotional moment for everyone in this country, and for the world for that matter. This is not just a moment in American history. This is a profoundly important passage out of the deep shadows of our racist past that began with that first slave offloaded on a ship. Race has been a curse for America for a long time. We have been working our way through it. And this young man that Andy Young calls a planetary leader, not just a civil rights leader, bright, articulate, instinctive, and cool, comes to us at a time when America had been so polarized, in its political arena especially. Politics had become so exclusionary, and he invited everyone in. The first time we heard him on a national stage, he said, there are Boy Scouts in red states and Boy Scouts in blue states. There's a God in a red state and a God in a blue state. It's the United States of America. And it was an unlikely journey when he began, but it's a great commentary on this country and its determination to move forward, that it rallied behind him during a time of extraordinary stress and believed in his message of hope. It's important that he has all those people because he's going to need their help.
In trying to figure out in advance how we would cover this moment, I thought of two things. Number one, the great David McCullough's scholarship on John Adams, that image he painted for us of the Adamses moving into the White House, where the plaster above the fireplace was still being finished by slaves. And number two, I thought of the man standing by to talk to us tonight, a guy who came within an inch of his life during the civil rights struggle, beaten bloody during that struggle, Congressman John Lewis. And Congressman, you are so kind to stand by with us and watch with us. You are the one man we wanted to talk to if and when this news broke tonight. And I guess they wouldn't have called it a struggle had it not been just a monumental effort that started in your time and continues to tonight.
Well, I must tell you, this is unreal, it's unbelievable, but I tell you, the struggle, the suffering, the pain, and everything that we tried to do to create a more perfect union, it was worth it. I just don't know how to express myself tonight. I'm overwhelmed by the success of the American people. This is not just a victory for Barack Obama, but this is a victory for the American people. It is saying something not just about our past, but our present and our future. I am convinced. Yes.
I was just going to ask who it makes you think of. What are some of the names? What are some of the faces flying through your head right now?
Well, I think especially Martin Luther King Jr. I was 15 years old when I first heard of Dr. King, growing up in rural Alabama, and later I met him and got involved in the civil rights movement. And I can recall when he stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial 45 years ago and said, I have a dream today, a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.